All right, Broncos country. We are back. It is Mike and Dave on Bleav and Broncos presented by FanDuel. David, today we had a little injury scare, not going to lie. It made me a little nervous. But we got great news on the defense. We got some great news on some of our stars in camp on the team. And today I think we're going to take a little quick look back at the 2025 draft class, guys. We want to see, how they did last year, what we expect from them this year. So, let's get into it. David, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Dude, I'm doing great. I'm pumped up to talk about this 2025 class and how they've looked so far in their second year of training camp. So y'all be sure you guys make this show fun too. So be sure to get in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on this. Like and subscribe. Leave us a review on the podcast apps as it helps us become the fastest growing Broncos podcast out there in Broncos country. But Mike, man, I'm pumped up to talk about a lot of these guys because I think we've had a lot of positive news coming out of training camp, and that's what we should be hearing at this time of the year, right?
Yes, sir. I probably should give everybody the camp update for the day before we do that because, everybody wants to know what happened at camp today. Defense in pads, David, kind of took over the front seven, imposing their will on this offensive line who's been here 3 years in a row, and they were not getting it done today. The defense said no. They said, Zack Allen apparently was just a monster and was unstoppable today. And then a couple, new names we're going to have to get into too. What does that say to you about, in a way it kind of makes me happy, right? Like you want to hear that we still have this defense that's going to be dominant. And we did have trouble, stopping the run at sometimes last year. I like this coming out of camp. And I think the trap that we fall into sometimes, David, is we want scoring. We want the offense. We want Bo to do good. We want Waddle to do good every day. We want JK, running all up and down the field. But honestly, I think this is a really good thing for the Broncos as a team. And the fans should probably, if you stop and think about it, Dave, you should be pretty happy that the defense can still step up and say, nah, you're not going anywhere today.
At the end of the day, that's the better unit on our team right now.
Yeah.
More consistent. I think they got more talent over there too. I know that might be a little bit of a hot take now with the addition of Jaylen Waddle, but this defense is championship caliber. We are nowhere near Super Bowl without having these guys. So once the pads come on, it doesn't shock me a little bit, early on that the defense is going to have some strong days strung together. Our offensive line needs to bounce back, though. Luke Wattenberg went out with a little bit of an injury yesterday, maybe some more upper body, but he was dressed today, but didn't participate. Courtland Sutton had a veteran day off. I think Luke will be fine. Just need to be precautionary with it. Same with Nick Bonito. Seemed like he just had a little tweak of, the foot or the ankle, something like that.
Mario Vitanzi reported from altitude adjustment says probably just a sprained ankle or something like that. And Sean said it's nothing. Don't worry about it. So that's good. And you bring up a great point. This is a championship caliber offense, and I think it needs to be. So I don't think it's or defense, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it needs to be, said that I think Vegas has a good idea of our defense and what we have there. It's the offense, I think, that where their question marks are. And if you look at FanDuel's here, they obviously sponsor the show, so we love you guys. Thank you for that. But the Broncos don't quite crack this list yet for Super Bowl winner, and they're at 1,900. They're just off the screen, David. They need to get bumped up, man. And what is it going to take, to get Vegas to bring us back up to the, because we're number one in the AFC last year. What are we even doing here, bro?
Yeah, I don't know, man. People still doubt us. I think it's because we're straight up, unless depending on where Arizona and
Arizona
Pacific time, right? But Arizona's mountain time for half the year.
I got you. Yeah.
Is, we're not on either of the coasts. We're not in Central Time. People just forget about the Broncos, man. That's just how it is. Like, we're the only big team in the whole mountain time zone. I think that has to do something with it. But, man, this defense has brought everybody back. The offense, I think it's very encouraging that they've been humming throughout training camp all last year. The Broncos offense looked clunky, and they started the year off incredibly clunky. So the fact that they've had some strong days, getting off to fast starts, I think is awesome. But yeah, the defense, we still need to see that that's a championship caliber defense, and I think we have been. And seeing guys like Riley Moss more turnovers this year and lessen the penalties.
Riley Moss was all over the field today in practice, and now I did hear he was a little handsy, so Riley Moss can still, but with his reputation, you got to be careful, right, with that. But he's having a great camp, man. I think the competition that he was, when Sean put him on notice, said, yeah, he's in competition for his job, and then of course he follows it up with, but all these positions are up for grabs. But I think Riley Moss in particular knows that the team would like to get Jahdae Barron on the field more, and he's really stepped up this year. He's making plays every day. In some ways, he's been the best player in the backfield so far in camp. So, great for Riley, great for the team. I mean, you said this earlier, you wanted to see like real competition for some of these spots. Like, I know we brought everybody back, but make them work for, that job, David. And it looks like he's one that really took that to heart and is working for it.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, hats off to him, man. He's got an opportunity to make a lot of money. And maybe that's with the Broncos. Maybe it's with another team next year. But, man, I'm really hoping that we get Riley's best year this year. We're going to have a great season if he's locked in, man. So, but to kind of segue a little bit, I know you mentioned Jahdae Barron. I don't know how close of this competition he's making it, between him and Riley. It seems like Riley's kind of running away with it, but I think like on the positive side of things, you saw Chris Abrams drain in some of these situations last year, rotate and dime ahead of Jahdae Barron. From my understanding, it seems like Barron has just kind of been that immediate dime backer through a lot of these sessions of practice. So I think that that's good. Again, it's going to be tough for us to see what we really have in Jahdae until probably preseason hits, where we can see him hopefully getting some run out there against some really good players, because we should be resting PS2 and Riley Moss for most of preseason. That's how I feel about it. But I'm encouraged to see at least that he's doing what he was expected to do well coming in this season. That's be a really solid dime backer for us.
Jahdae Barron was targeted all day today at practice. He kind of didn't have not a great day for Jahdae Barron. And, he's one of the ones we need to talk about on this show today. We'll do that in a couple of minutes because he's a 2025. He was our first round draft pick. So certainly need to talk about him. Wow. The chat's going off. Thank you for handling that. I got my hands full over here. So Zack Allen, of course, did his business to start, but then, we always have to talk about this position because of the loss of JFM. He's no longer a Bronco. Tyler Onyedem, once again. Savion Jones, both had run stuffs today. JK and that offense wasn't going anywhere today, and it was great to see Tyler Onyedem and Savion Jones get in on the action and get called out for their play. I think there was a quote today on Savion from another player. Who was that said that?
I'm trying to remember. I'll go find it. But
it was Zack Allen.
Zack Allen.
Zack Allen. Yeah. So Zack Allen said, the leap from year 1 to 2 for Savion Jones is been really impressive and noticeable. I don't have the exact quote in front of me.
Here, I got it. I can read it.
Of course you do, because you're the best.
Courtesy of Zach Stevens. Zack Allen said Savion Jones has made a lot of progress, is in a good spot. Quote, year 1 to year 2 jump is massive.
Love it. Love
Can't
it.
Get a better glowing review than that.
So real quick down the rest of the day, I've got Jahdae Barron, was kind of a bad day. Again, the O-line struggled. That was funny today that JK Dobbins and Hufanga were just talking trash all day to the other side. It was getting a little chippy, getting a little competitive out there. We had our first scuffle between Evan Engram and J-Mac on the field, a little push and shove yelling match. Didn't turn to blows, but they had to separate them. So it's starting to get competitive. Do you like this? Do you like hearing that, as long as it doesn't get out of hand?
I think it's all good, friendly competition, man. Yeah. So, yeah, we don't want to be a team that's pushed over, right, when the season comes. So, yeah, there's going to be some fights or some scuffles. I think every really good team has those, man. But they're able to make sure they don't get out of hand.
Yeah. So weather it was a little smoky there for the last few days. Look at the weather got a little bit better. I think they got some rain. Out here, David, we got like 2 days straight of just like torrential rain here, and my driveway is like a quarter mile long, and it's gravel, and it goes downhill, and it looked like a creek bed coming in and out of my house. And so yesterday, there's the road crews out on the gravel road, the main road that the county guys get paid to clean, and I've never seen it before, but this guy like stopped and looked at my driveway and just turned right up my driveway with this huge machine and just took the extra step, came out and just fixed my driveway. What took him like 5 minutes. It just meant so much to us, man. When somebody does that, goes that extra step or helps you out, like it just means a lot. And, if you're hiring great candidates, you can also go the extra step and tell you why they're interested in your job at ZipRecruiter as a way to stand out from others. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter has a new feature that shows you the most interested qualified candidates so you meet the right people faster. It's no wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site. Candidates can tell you in their own words why they're interested in your job. So try ZipRecruiter and meet great candidates who will go that extra step for your job. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. So, David, and that's a true story, by the way. So thank you so much.
Love it.
Now, all right, let's get back into this. The edge position, I got to ask you. So Bonito, of course, little injury scare, and didn't like that. But turns out that might not be much. We also had Tillman not practicing. He's on the side. Add the Cooper situation, the unknown factor there. This room's starting to look a little thin. Okay, even thinner than it was. Like, I like the talent there, but David, since I know you very well, is it time to look at adding a player as insurance, or where are you at on this?
The Broncos are probably saying you want to wait on it, right? Now, hey, maybe that's the fan in me that wants us to go sign Vaughn or Joey Bosa, one of these guys. I'm a fan about that, but I spoke with Gage Madrid yesterday, and he was talking about how throughout all the days at camp, he's been at camp every day. He was saying how he's been incredibly impressed with Johnny Walker, a second-year player, undrafted last year out of Missouri. Kind of was more of an IR stash for the Broncos last year, but he's been very impressed with his pass rush ability so far throughout camp, and maybe this might lead to an extended look for him. Again, we need to be precautious with all of our edge rushers. We've led the league in sacks the last 2 years. We shouldn't be putting those guys out there unless they're 100%. So we got to have Bonito and those guys ready. So maybe this is the time where we see Johnny Walker as a second-year guy make a name for himself.
Looking for him to make some noise in camp for sure. I'm pretty high on Ellis. I still think that we have something to look forward to there. Yeah. I like, I'm not like in any sort of panic mode. And I agree with what you said. Like, the team just needs to be, this is training camp. We still got the rest of training camp. We got preseason. We've got quite a bit of time to get everybody healthy. Some of these guys don't need a lot of reps. Let's be honest. We need them healthy. Couple big plays today, though. Offense wasn't all lost out there. Bo hit a star today. Jaylen Waddle again beat PS2 for a 25-yard touchdown, or would have been a touchdown, could have been a touchdown. Great to hear that. PS2 and Waddle, it was kind of interesting. Waddle was interviewed today. Of course, he said, he loves Bo. He was talking about practicing against PS2, and if they were, talking trash or being competitive. He said, man, we're being competitive, but we're giving each other tips and like learning, how to be better at our position and helping the other guy get better. And that's such a great I mean, how can you not love Jaylen Waddle, David? I mean, is he a great addition or what?
Yeah, man, we better be spamming the ball to him every chance we get. The fact that Bo Nix is connecting with him downfield for big passes, I think is huge. Like, I'm not worried about the short game, anything like that, but it's just making sure that Bo now has a weapon that can consistently connect with him, from, 10 to 20 yards beyond. And seems like by all accounts, Jaylen Waddle has been exactly that guy in camp. So let's see it translate, but I think it's going to be a match made in heaven between these two.
Yep, me too. And I just checking in on the chat. I don't have time to do that, so I'm glad you've been keeping up with them. I just want to thank all you guys for coming in. I see all familiar names here, so great to see you all. Appreciate you supporting the show, helping us grow, and it's growing really fast.
Yes,
David, it's been kind of I don't want to say I'm surprised, because it's the Broncos. People love the Broncos, and we love talking Broncos. So it's a match made in heaven. So ZipRecruiter would hire us to do this for, easily. So, yes. I mean, I get it, but it's still really nice to see. Now, what I want to see is more, Pat Bryant. I want to see more RJ Harvey. We talked about Savion Jones. This 2025 class now should be in their second year leap, I guess. I mean, we should probably check in on them. I said we would. I think we had 7 picks last year.
Yes.
And so the first overall pick, we've talked a lot about Jahdae Barron already. Kind of mixed season. I think he played about 30% of defensive snaps. So not awful. He was involved some, but just kind of a hit and miss year from him. What's your overall, like, where do we stand with him? What are you hoping to see from him next year?
I wanted to see him like in camp. Yeah. Like really push Riley, like make this like a real competition, but I don't think it's been that. So, Jahdae right now, with the guys he has ahead of him, the path to playing time is tough. So right now, my expectations for him, even though he's a first-round draft pick, is to be a solid depth piece for us. And if he needs to fill in for injury, be ahead of Chris Abrams-Drain. I think that's
gonna be tough, because I like KAD.
I like KAD too, but it seems like by all accounts right now he is, and I think that's a positive sign. If he's losing snaps to KAD, I mean, KAD's a really good player, but hey, if Barron is worthy of this first round pick, I think at the very least he's got to be our starting dime backer, and that next guy up, regardless of who goes down on the field, whether it's at nickel or outside. So that's one I want to see from Barron. But my expectations until he earns an opportunity to start, if later in his career he does. I mean, I don't know what more you can expect. He's got to be a good fill-in for us.
Yeah, he's going to be in the dime and competing, for outside. He's going to probably play some nickel, if needed. But it's kind of a wait and see with him, and it's a pretty deep room. So
very deep.
I think they're giving him a lot of run in practice right now to see what he can do, and he needs to step up. I think he's one that needs to step up. Our round 2 pick. Pick 60 was RJ Harvey, of course. For a non-kicker, I believe, on the team. So that's pretty impressive for a rookie. This year, we expect him to play a little bit better between the tackles, not be too hesitant behind. But, Sean again commented on how, he's looking great. Loves his soft hands, the way he catches the ball out of the backfield. He's going to have a big year. I think he's primed for a really big year for us, Dave.
Yeah, Pat Bryant, a lot of people forget he's the 3rd round pick, and 3rd round picks, there's an expectation that you take a nice leap in your second year, right? And I think he's got the opportunity to be kind of that main big slot for us with Court and Waddle out on the field. We'll see how much Engram factors into like their decision making on when they want to have Engram out there versus another guy like Pat Bryant. But I'm expecting him to get red zone looks. He's a guy that's coming down with contested catches throughout camp, and hopefully has continued to work on his route running. I think that he showed great route running as a rookie, and he's a guy that isn't just limited to big slot stuff. I think that he's might take a couple more years or so, but I think he's the future, starting X receiver for this team. And I don't know what the yardage total will be, but let's see him there on the important downs, right? Third down, fourth down. He was clutch doing that in college at Illinois. Get him 5 or 6 touchdowns this year. I think that would be freaking sick. A really successful year for Pat Bryant.
He had like 1 last year. So, we can definitely see some growth there. I'm high on him. Our third round pick, Savian Jones, starting to flash a little bit. Now, this is a guy that's going to be important. He was only active, I think, maybe 3 or 4 games last year. This is a big year for him because he has the opportunity. Now, can he take advantage of it? They did draft Onyedem, which says something. But so far, it's looking pretty good for him. I expect him to get in that rotation next year, David. Do you see it that way as well?
Yeah, I think like right now with what we've heard from him multiple days, making impressive run stuffs, and love to hear that. I think he's got the ability to rush the passer. We'll see hopefully more of that during the preseason. But I think that with this staff, sometimes it seems like these third round picks, they might just take a redshirt year for development. Like let's remember, Riley Moss, third round pick, we traded up for, I remember correctly, and then coming into year 2, we wondered, okay, like, is Riley Moss a bust? Like, how good is he? We didn't really know. It's frustrating to have a question mark when you bring in a guy who's like a top 100 pick, right? So what did we see, though, in Riley Moss' second year? That he took that leap that you were seeing. He ended up earning that starting corner position, which is great, and he's been a very good corner for us. Now, defensive line, it's a little bit different. It's not super important to me who's getting the starting snaps
right
at that defensive end position, but can he be a part of the rotation? And it seems like right now he's making a strong case for that. I think we have 6 or 7 really good defensive linemen, and I think he's going to be a factor. If he's a factor this year, I think that's a massive win. And again, you lose John Franklin Myers, so we might not have maybe that high end guy. I think we probably do. Maybe in a couple of these guys that can replace him and break out. But maybe, other people don't feel that way. I think at the very least, we got depth. And I want to see us have, 7 guys that we can roll out there confidently.
John Franklin Meyer didn't come out the gate as a all-pro. I mean, that's how this game works. Tyler Onyedem, Jones, Malcolm Roach, we don't know who's going to pop this season. Somebody needs to. Somebody probably will. Now, Q Robinson was taken in the 4th. Now, he's edge rusher. Of course, this is an important position for us. We were just talking about that. Q didn't play a lot early. He was only active for 6 games, but he came up, started flashing late in the season. We've heard his name called a lot in camp so far this year. He looks the part, is what I hear the most about him. I expect him, obviously, to be, in that edge rotation, maybe that top 4 edge rotation, depending on what else they do. This is such an unknown room, David. Like, I can't figure out who's going to be there, who's not going to be there, with the Cooper thing. It's a numbers game, right? You've got Bonito for sure, Tillman for sure, Ellis for sure. Now, depending on what happens with Cooper, I don't know. And then it becomes, okay, the Q Robinson question. I think he's ready to handle an increased load. I think he's, he's shown a lot of promise, and like his rush potential looks really good to me. And of course, he looked really good. And I think it was the AFC, or was it the Buffalo game? Anyways, the later the season went, the better he looked, and more excited I got about him.
Yeah, I think he had a sack on Drake May.
Yeah. So, your thoughts on him real quick, and then we'll round this out. We do have one important player and one who we may never hear from again.
Yeah, who knows? But Q Robinson been a great surprise. Probably would have been a higher pick if he just got more defensive snaps out of Alabama. But he earned a roster spot this last year, rightfully. And one thing that I want to see from him this year, and I think we'll see it, is just him being active on game days more. And what we've seen from him in camp, again, he's got that quick twitch, kind of Nick Bonito light type of ability off the edge. But can he make it tough to where, hey, maybe the Broncos got to go with some lighter numbers when it comes to game day activation? Because I just think it's in their advantage having 5 edge guys that they can roll out like consistently and help keep everybody fresh. And I think they're all really freaking good. Dondre Tillman, he's a fantastic addition as well. So I want to see Q Robinson get more snaps this year, man. I think that's something that again, later in the year, you saw just how special of an athlete he is. He needs to make it undeniable for the Broncos to make sure they got 5 edges rolling every game.
Yeah. I don't know why I have so much faith in a player that only played so little, but I do really like Q Robinson. I like the look of him. I like the idea of him. I like everything about him. And because there's a need to, David, let's be honest. Round 6, we picked up our future Pro Bowl punter, Jeremy Crawshaw. Just turned out to be a beast. Harken back to last offseason, people were calling for us to get rid of him already and get a new punter. And then it's rough. It's not easy being a Bronco. This one's a success, obviously, for us. This is a good class for us. I mean, Crawshaw's great. Q Robinson, the potential. You've got Jones and, hopefully coming on. But even with just Harvey and Pat Bryant, you got 2 stars of the team right now who are going to be huge contributors. A lot of these other guys are going to be rotational, of course. And then, our last pick last year, Caleb Lohner, unfortunately, learned how to put on a uniform last year, how to play a little bit. This year, night and day, and then he's gone with an injury. But it is a cleanup, so maybe they're just being safe with him. Probably a practice squad player again because he's a pet project of Sean. But, I think it's a good look back at the class, David. I think we can expect some big production out of this class, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah. I forgot to mention RJ Harvey, and so I wanted to spend a moment.
Well, I mentioned him, and then you skipped right to Pat Bryant. But I'll let you do your thing.
RJ. If we're gonna keep JK Dobbins fresh, I think a lot of that depends on how he develops just as a rusher this year. Yeah. Because if he can gain that trust from Peyton and Davis Webb to where, hey, they don't feel like they have to give JK Dobbins, 20 carries a game, big win. Maybe Jonah Coleman earned some of that, but the expectation for Harvey on my end this year is for him to show growth in that. He was one of the least efficient backs last year, big time playmaker. So if he can just clean up the efficiency a little bit, man, he's going to be definitely in 1,000-yard, guy between his receiving yards and rushing yards. But I think, when you look at RJ, his development is very crucial in helping us control the workload for JK Dobbins if he's going to play all 17 games. Yeah,
almost hit 900 yards last year, if I remember right. And then was 7 rushing TDs, 5, pass catching touchdowns. So obviously a huge playmaker for the team. Outlook is really strong with him. And, between him and Pat Bryant, it's hard for me to pick what my favorite pick from that draft is, but I like them both. And what you said about Jonah Coleman is true. Like I would not have JK running the ball more than 13 to 15 carries a game at the most, maybe more like 12 if you've got these other 2 younger backs in there. Let's keep them healthy. So David, tell them where they can find us, and we'll get everybody out of here.
Guys, what a great show. Thank you everybody for tuning in, participating in the chat. You can find Mike over at Mile High Monsters on YouTube. You can follow me over at David Talks Broncos on YouTube, and we will be back to discuss more Broncos camp tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's the 2.5-hour practice, Mike?
Yeah, it is 2.5 hours of pads, and the way they were hitting today and the trash talk, tomorrow is going to be a banger, as they say, as the kids say, David. So for David Marshall, I'm Mike Carmellini. Go Broncos, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bleav, everybody.